Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Eastern Alliance Era 2 Premium Medium Tank, the deadly double tapper, the WZ-122. Now this tank is utterly fantastic. I absolutely love it. And the one thing that this tank is, the one reason I truly do love this tank is because it's got a niche, and that is how deadly it is with the double tap. You have the multi-weapon system, which gives you ATGMs, and you have this standard gun. Now, this standard gun can be pretty derpy at times, which can be a little bit frustrating, because it does miss shots that you sit there going, how? But then it also hits shots that you sit there going, okay, whatever. But then you have the ability to just drive up to people, slap them for 470, and then deliver a big fat ATGM into them. It does only have 460 pen, which is quite low for an ATGM, but to be honest, you can use that really easily against a lot of tanks that you'll surprise, realistically. You have 850 alpha on it, which is nice as well. The reload's not too bad for the 4 clip that it has, and you can just deliver so much pain in such a short amount of time that it's just so deadly. And yeah, it's part of the fun with it to play. So in terms of a crew on the WZ-122, I do run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Trap Mechanic, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise. I run Camouflage Expertise because I want to make my camo just a little bit better, and I tend to run Camo Net with that as well, so that I can stay more stealthy and unspotted in a lot of situations. Even though you see, like, in this game here, we're brawling, it helps me stay unspotted in a lot of situations where I can get away, or I can sneak up on someone and then deliver the pain train. And all the gun perks, because like I say, the gun can be really derpy, and I want to make sure that it is as good as it can be. And in terms of equipment, I run rammer, vert stabs, and a camo net. Like I say, camo net because I want to be able to keep my camo, especially when I'm going up to basically surprise people and slap them up with the gun and the ATGMs. I want that ability to do that, pretty much. And vert stabs to make the gun as good as humanly possible, and rammer to make the DPM 10% better, as always. So as you can see in this first game, we're up to 5k damage already. We've delivered all the ATGMs of the first clip, and we're reloading that second clip. We are in a good position here to keep slapping shots consistently into the enemy team. And as you can see, the reload for 470 alpha in Era 2 is pretty damn nice, since the DPM is pretty good on this gun here, and then you have the ability to just deliver these ATGMs for 850. As you can see, we slapped that into that guy there, that Centurion. You can deliver so much pain in such a short space of time, and the enemy team can't do too much about it. So you can see we get a shot into the WZ-122 there. He misses his shot. We end up tracking him in place. The Cobra Cat comes charging. It's like, Mr. Cobra Cat, no. Just no. We load the ATGMs, and we tap that straight into the 122 while our main gun is loading. And it's just, like I say, it's just how fat. Look at that. We shut down the Chieftain Mark 5 as well, just in the blink of an eye. It's mad how fast this tank gets damage out. You won't have any damage, then all of a sudden you have it all. And we're up to 10,054 damage. I love it. I love it. I just love the deadliness of this tank. It's just, the double tap is so powerful. You do have to be careful not to be too aggressive and lose all your hit points too soon. And you have to obviously maneuver the situations to be able to use your hit points to your advantage and use your double tap to your advantage, because naturally when you're firing the ATGMs you will expose yourself for a decent amount of time, and yeah, you don't really want that because you don't have any armor, because that is the one thing this tank has. It has angles but not armor, so angles to be able to block the odd shot here and there and ricochet shots off the turret every now and then, but don't ever expect it because it won't always work. So as you can see, we managed to get the surprise into this T-72. We get an ATGM into his back end. We then pen him as well, and now he's turned to face us. We get a shot in to track him in place, and the M60A1 Rise shuts him down. There's a medium tank now the other way. Unfortunately, the Centurion 9 was getting out of the way of the medium tank, even though I don't think he's even looking this way. And we don't quite get there to get the shot in to shut down the M60A2. There's only 2 tanks left. They're both at H3 and J2, so it's now a mission to try and get over there. We only have our main gun now because we have used all of the ATGMs, so we don't have the ability to deadly double tap anymore, so we have to taper how aggressive we are. It's another one of those tanks that if you can catch someone out when they're by themselves, you can shred their hit points really quickly just by ATGMing them and then shooting them, and you've got good DPM with... It's basically one of those things, if you charge in, ATGM them first, because it's usually the surprise shot, right? Before they can react and get a position where the ATGM won't pen them, you will do a lot of damage, they'll pen them with the main gun, and then by the time your main gun is reloaded again, you can fire, and then the ATGM will be loaded. You do have to be careful with the ATGMs, by the way, on the 122, because they come out of the gun tubes on the sides of the turret, as you can see right there, both those gun tubes. And sometimes the ATGMs come out on the left-hand side of the turret and the right-hand side of the turret at a time. So if you're poking around a corner, sometimes, even though you're aiming somewhere, and it looks like you should get the shot, it ends up hitting a building or something. But we finished that game with the Ace Tanker, 1971 base XP, 12,137 damage, and 5 kills. A really great game for the WZ-122 on Mannheim. And we're on to the second replay. And the second replay is on Vineyards. And on Vineyards, we are deciding what we want to do, realistically. We could go down the JK line, but you know what? I decided, because I have that sort of stopping power, I'm going to go along the AB line. And from the AB line, I can shoot the people that go to the JK line, and I can actually push in towards their base and shoot the people that tend to camp around the JK line as well. And you never know, with the amount of people that go this way, I could actually get into a good brawl. As you can see, though, there's not many people coming my way at this moment in time, so I do have to be a little bit careful. But because, like I say, because this tank is so good at just eliminating tanks, I can be quite confident in it. But you just, yeah, you've got to be very careful with the situations you take this tank into. As you can see, there's only actually been 2 tanks spotted. The 2 tanks, the medium tank and the heavy tank at 8.5. And we're going in because they're both ATGMable. But again, I don't want to take too many hits. So instead of taking the hit from the chieftain there and just being silly, we pull back, he misses his shot, and we go back into the low ground where we can use our gun depression, because gun depression is a problem for this tank. We track the Leopard, then ATGM him, put our crew member back in, and then shut him down. Now we've got the ATGM back in a second, and we slap that straight through the drive wheel of the chieftain, which tracks him, and then get another shot in, which tracks him in place yet again. And it's like, this is really awkward for you, Mr. Chieftain. He doesn't have trap mechanic, and because the DPM on this tank is absolutely fantastic, if you don't have trap mechanic, you can perma-track people. And that's exactly what we did. We ended up shutting him down. Now there's the Leopard 1A5 at the back. We get a shot into the Leopard 1, and we're just going to try and see if we can get another shot in. We're hoping to track him so that I could launch an ATGM in, but unfortunately for me, I don't actually end up tracking the 1A5. But as you can see with the double tapper again, the Chieftain and the Leopard just didn't stand a chance, especially when they went after me one at a time. So we end up getting spotted, so we know the Leopard's back there. We're just trying to see if we can get the shots into him, but this Armadillo plows in, and that shot flies into that Armadillo, which is really great. And the Leopard 1A1 pulls out. Unfortunately, we end up hitting our friend in the WZ-122. But we're going to pull forward and see if we can start getting some shots into the M50 and the Tyrann that were directly in front of us. I think it was the Tyrann anyway. We know the Leopard is back there somewhere, but we do have friends here with us now. So it's kind of one of those things of, you can be a bit more risky. Unfortunately, we bounce on the Leopard. Someone popped smoke. I assume it was the enemy tank in front of us. We get a nice shot there into the Armadillo just as he disappeared behind the smoke. We're up to 6.1k damage with 1800 assistance. And yeah, again, I'm just being careful because that Leopard 1 is in such a strong position for him because he can stay unspotted behind all those bushes and he can keep popping the shots at us. But my friendly tank goes in on this Tyrann 6, I think it is, that's in front of us, yeah. So we end up popping a shot at him there, and then we fire the ATGM. And yeah, the ATGM flew off into the distance. That's where the ATGMs on this tank can be a little bit frustrating, like I say, because they come out those gun tubes on the left and right of the turret. Sometimes, if you are quite close in, they will just disappear off into the distance because they fire at an awkward angle and then go nowhere near the target. And that's what I say, like, sometimes if you're a little bit too close to buildings, even though your gun is pointing round the corner, the ATGMs won't be, and they'll blow up against the building. It's little shots like that that can be really frustrating. But it is what it is. We managed to get to the Mobat, get a shot into the side of him, pop a ATGM into him as well. We're up to 8.8k damage with 1800 resistance. We know where the Leopard is. And I was like, okay, meantime, hello, Mr. Leopard. Slam the ATGM into him without even aiming it, just auto-aiming because we're so close. He's gone. We're up to 9.3k damage with 1800 resistance. The Armadillo ends up getting shut down, and we finished the game with a pretty decent total for the WZ-122. And we're faced with the epic victory, 3 kills, 9.3k damage, 1800 assistance. That was actually the game we got the 3rd mark of excellence for the tank as well, which is pretty nice. It's always great to do that on tanks you absolutely love playing. We're up to 1764 base XP, a really pretty good game for the WZ-122. Let's say that again, that game just demonstrated how deadly this tank can be in those sorts of situations where things are coming at you, especially things that don't have too much space armor, and like the Chieftain and the Leopard 1A1 are pure paper. So you can just launch things at them. Those guys stood no chance because I hit them for 460 or 470, sorry, where they're hitting for, well, the Leopard, I think they're both 510 alpha. So I'm only 40 less alpha than them, but then I track them in place and then launch an ATGM at them for 850. So in the space that they've managed to put one shot into me for 510, I've realistically done 1200 damage at least to them. And then I'm nearly reloading, ready to do it again. And you can put that 2.4k damage into someone in about 8 seconds, whereas they're probably only going to do 1,000 damage to you in that time. It's just how filthy it is. And we're on to the 3rd and final game. This game is a bit of a cracker, and we are on to the Kaunas map. And we are basically scanning this A-B line as they do like to go to that windmill at A7, right? So I was just checking it out to see if I could see anyone, and no one actually was going up this way whatsoever. So it was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be extremely aggressive. If no one has gone up this AB line, we couldn't physically see anyone coming this way. Let's just push aggressively. They clearly have pushed towards the town. We're just going to scan the TD spots to see if we can see anyone, see if they're there, but we don't. We end up getting lit up by that Magak 5. There's also an M68 which we do have to be careful of, and that's one of those, where did that shell go? Because that was the pure side of that M68 and it didn't hit him. No idea why, but it is what it is. We are now aiming the shot again into the side of the M68. It goes in. The first ATM we fired at him only hit the top of his turret and just didn't pen, because it's just awkward angles on the top of the M68. Sometimes it pens, sometimes it doesn't. We try and snap the shot into the Leopard 2AV, but it doesn't quite go in. We then get the shot into the rear with the ATGM, because, again, if you miss your shot with the standard gun, you can just slap an ATGM in there. And we took a bit of his hit points off him. We're up to 1,300 damage, make that 1,700. Hello, Mr. Leopard. And once again, once you're up close, you can see the ATGM flies into the distance because it shot out the right-hand side of the turret. So thus, it was way past the enemy tank before it got anywhere near them, which is really annoying because that means we've wasted 2 of our ATGMs so far. We've only got 1 left in this clip, but this is just relentless gameplay at the minute. The Leopard 1A1 ends up getting away with it, and we don't quite get the shot into him, and because of his speed he manages to evade our ATGM as well, which is annoying, which means we wasted 3 of the 4 shells, 3 of the 4 ATGMs in that first clip, which is always frustrating to waste those ATGMs, especially when you've got such a finite amount. But we managed to shut down the Leopard 1A5, sorry, and we get a shot in to shut down the Magak 5. So we've realised that the enemy team was coming, it's basically won the town, and they're coming back through the middle. So you know what, I've got the ATGMs in. I want to get into a position not to bleed too many hit points, but to also stop these guys moving back through the centre of the map. So this Conqueror is in a really bad place. I can easily ATGM him here, and the Conqueror is one of those tanks that is so easy to wreck with ATGMs. The BMP gets spotted up there, and it's like, well, hello, Mr. BMP, don't mind if I give you a taste of your own medicine. We slam the ATGM in, pen him with the main gun, which means he's lost a lot of his potency before he's got anywhere near us, which is great. We've got 2 ATGMs left. We've slapped the shot in with the main gun to shut down that guy. Now the Magak 5 is coming in, and the M60's here. We slap the shot into this M60. Low roll, which means we don't kill him, but fortunately enough, the 1A5 shuts him down. The Conqueror's here, which we try and get him with the main gun. Fail. We fire the ATGM at him, and unfortunately hit the dead wreck, which means the final ATGM gets spoiled, which is really frustrating because it looked like I could hit him, but unfortunately the dead wreck's gun was in the way and took the ATGM. We get to shut down the Magak 3 there with a very fortunate fire. We get the shot into the Conqueror. He is in an awkward position for himself to be able to get the gun down on us, and we shut down the Conqueror. Now the Tyran 6 is coming in. We shut down the Tyran 6 too. We're up to 6 kills, 9.9k damage, and there's still 2 tanks left. That's another one of those shells where the tank goes, no, you know what, I don't fancy hitting it. So unfortunately we missed the Enigma there, but we get a shot into his back end which damages his engine, and he just repairs it and gets going. We know there's a medium tank. that's spotted at D6, and I'm going to forget that he's at D6. I actually think he's on the other side of this rock at E5. And so we're just going to keep trying to pummel the shots into this 1A5, sorry, this T55 Enigma, because he's pushing towards my friends. We're in a bit of a perilous position at this point. We're up to 11k damage, and yeah, this game could go quite badly. And I forget about this Enigma. I actually think he's, like I say, at E6, but he's not. He's the other way round. So I push too aggressively. He comes around on us. And you know what? We're going to abuse the fact that the Enigma has a poor rotating turret. We managed to get the tracking shot into the Enigma. We retrack him in place. He does penners, which puts him down to a one-shot. Puts us down to a one-shot for him. But he is also now a one-shot for us, as long as RNG behaves. And this time, it does behave. And we get to shut down the Enigma there. We were making it as difficult for him to get the shot into us as possible, because he does have a faster reload than we do. By tracking him and getting round him and just rotating round him, because it does have terrible turret traverse, we managed to keep his gun off us, and we get to shut down that Enigma. There's only one Enigma left, and he is distracted with our two friends at A1. We get a shot into his rear. He starts turning for us, so we're going to get the tracking shot into him there. Because the Enigma has poor gun depression over the back end, he can't actually see us, and we get to shut him down for what is an absolutely mammoth game for the WZ-122 there, especially since we wasted all the ATGMs for pretty much. Finished with the victory, 8 kills, 14,000 damage for an Era 2 tank, 568 assistance. The ace tanker, 2.3k base XP, a really absolutely fantastic game for an Era 2 tank. That's my highest damage in Era 2. A tank that is absolutely fantastic. WZ-122, you have to get used to the fact that you can't be too aggressive, but you have to be aggressive. You know, there's a certain playstyle to it, and you can have a lot of fun with it, and I absolutely loved playing it. It's so great. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!